Hello everybody, welcome to another Cedar review. In today's video, we'll be reviewing the Beast X Ultrazord from Power Rangers Beast Morphers. It is the combination of all 5 Zords, the praying mantis, the scar beetle, scab beetle, however you say it, the cheetah Zord, the gorilla, and the bunny. So, let's get into looking how to make it and the Zords. So if I put this over here, you can see here he is. He's got every part of the Zords go into him, so it's not like you're gonna have any extra parts or stuff like that. He's actually really cool. The back right here is just like extra parts that you put together into a cool jetpack. And yeah, let's get into turning him into the Zords. So I'll be right back with them all in Zord mode. Alright, here they all are in animal form. Let's get into showing each one. First, we have the cheetah Zord. Really cool. They actually added a couple spots right there. Be careful because the tail's very flimsy, and but overall it's really cool. I think it's one of the most, out of all these, I think it's the easiest to play with because the legs are so stiff. You can easily play with this one. One thing to keep in mind when transforming it is this side. So the wheels right here, they come over here. You pull them down. This side's wheel has got a bigger space right here, and that's so you can put the other one down first. So this one can overlap. That's just a quick tip. But yeah, this is one I think my favorite ones. And then next up we have the Yellow Ranger or the Bunny Zord. This one, the thing I say to keep in mind is careful with the ears. They are really flimsy, but really cool. It stores the Megazord's helmet. I think the legs are really cool about this one because they're actually like, they've got movement, but they're really easy to just like stand up like this. And yeah, this one's actually, I think, another really cool one. But yeah, it's got this thrusters on the sides. Really cool. And then this one I'm a little iffy about. It's the Gorilla Zord. And I don't say this looks like a gorilla. I mean, it kind of does, but to make it more gorilla-like, they could probably like take the middle piece and make it bendable so it could bend forward. I know the arms can, but it's just not the same. But still, really nice design. They went through the extra step to add, so normally the head's like this. They went through the extra step just to add in the eyes, and I thought that was really cool. You can actually see there's actually little toes on the feet. It's actually really funny. And yeah. Next up, we have the scarab, I don't know how to say it, beetle. The scarab beetle. And the the Ultrazord's helmet rests there by the booster. It's got the legs. It's actually, these claws are really fun to play with because you can go and you can like bite the other Zords and stuff, but I think that's pretty cool. Not really much about this one because it's one of the more simple ones because it doesn't have a what is it? Never mind. Because unlike these ones where the Rangers have powers like speed, strength, and jumping, the Gold and Silver didn't really get powers if you watch the show. So that's why they can make these more simple because they're not as abstract to show the powers. And then the biggest of all of them, the praying mantis. Doesn't really look like a praying mantis, but I love what they did with the crane. And even though it doesn't look like a praying mantis, I say it's really cool. It's actually a really nice looking Zord. It's got little boot blasters on the back. Those are for a different mode, but yeah, really cool looking. And so let's get into turning these all into their vehicle mode. I'm gonna put all of them aside except for Red, so we can transform Red. So, to transform Red to car mode, what you want to do is take out the tail, fold the back feet over like this. So if you see I'm taking that and pushing it that way. Then push them down all the way and flip them over. And then you've got the wheels of your car. Next up, push the legs back. So now it should look like this. And snap the wheels into place. And you've got your car. You can also take the sword, turn it this way, push this until it clicks. And if you're very careful, you can stick it there. And there you have it. Car mode. If you don't like the head, then you can take it out, and I'm not sure about this. I think you like put it in backwards, or you just leave it. I think you just close it like that and leave it. But I think it looks much better with the head in, so I'll leave it that way. Next up, let's turn this into battle mode. For battle mode, you take off the head, you take off the sword, you make sure that this is pushed down. Then here's the hard part that I always have trouble with. You grab the two halves of the car and you pull them apart, put them like this, and bring them down into legs. Next, you take this, the back of the car, you pull it apart, twist towards the front one time, and then pull down the hands. And after you've pulled down the hands, just twist them. So now they face forward. Next, push these as a visor, bring up the frill, and then go down to the feet. For the feet, you want to just push the front of the car into the feet position. If you have to try and balance it, it's a little unbalanced. If it's not balanced enough, make sure you push them both the same amount, and you should be good. Next, take the cheetah's face and just pop it in right there. It's a little flimsy, just make sure it's okay. And take this, push it. Well, because when I first made it to this one, you guys saw it from here, so put it back, flip it back up into the tail, and turn it into, it's a little hard to get in there. Turn it into his blade. And then we have him in battle mode. We're gonna put him aside. Next up, let's do, how about Gorilla? For him, you take off these. So pretty much you take him apart. Then you take off the arms. You take off the head. And then you take off the piece that the arms and head attached to. Then this big piece, you take the legs off of it. And now we set this right there for a second. Take the legs, go to the wheels on the back of them, flip the wheels out. Then we push. Sorry, this is a little tough. The gorillas, I think, out of all of them, the most annoying, so don't stay calm with it. Push them together like this. Then we set that aside. We go to the arms. We push the hands in. Make sure that to turn these right here, so that they all fit in. Because you sometimes turn them if you want to play with the hands. Then you just push them in. Same on the side. Twist and push. Hand, go down. Then next, you find the side with the helipad and you connect it. You make sure you're on the helipad side and you see these ones, the big ones, and then on the end of the hands, there are some pegs right here. You just peg them in. And then you've got this. It's a little flimsy, but wait. Next up, you're gonna take these and push them back. By the way, look, there's the gorilla, bunny, and cheetah. You turn this over. Take this piece. And do you see where it's got these holes in its arm, and right by the arms? And there are the pegs right there on the hands. Just stick it in. It's a little tough. You have to make sure to coordinate it right. One sec. It's almost going on. 1 second. Oh wait, sorry, those are the wrong pegs. They're actually the pegs on the feet going to holes down here. I was thinking of a different Megazord combination where you do that. So make sure you find these pegs, find the holes, and plug it in. And then these will line up. So you can also push it in there for extra support. Take your front. You can either have it just like this, or what I prefer to do is put it in the linked mode where you take the head, push it down so the eyes cannot be seen, and you attach it. Make sure this is all the way back or else it won't connect. Then you just plug it in, and now all we have to use are the wheels. The wheels have this right here, and then you look for a wheel that matches the side. So this wheel matches the side. There's that little groove right here. You can push it in and back at the same time, and then until it fits here. And once it gets there, you will see, you will see this. This should line up with this on the tire, and you should be able to just push it in. If it's a little tough, then don't worry, just keep trying, and you see it snaps in. Then you do the same with the other side. You find the groove, you move and push, and then you peg it in. It's a little tough to do, so be careful. There we go. And now you have him in his truck mode. Now we'll set that one aside. He doesn't have battle mode, only red and gold have battle modes. Next up, we'll take Bunny. For Bunny, we will take off the ears and take off the helmet and the back of the helmet. Next, we will take off the side. Actually, no, we can leave the sides on. Because the sides are a little hard to put back on. You pull these out so the wheels point down. You go down here, you push these feet together and bring them around so they are up here. Next step is you take the red piece and you see this the orange peg and the hole there. You just peg it in. So you could have left it, but if you did that, it would be harder because you'd have to move the legs around it. So just be careful about that. Next, we take this, we spread it out this way, and then get this inside. You find the pegs on the back of the helmet, and then you match them up with the propeller, and you peg them in. And make sure to push because this will come off really easily, and you don't want that to be happening while you're playing and you lose it. So make sure you push it in nicely. And then if their ears are like, if the head piece is like that, make sure you push it down so it's like 4 propellers. Then the easiest part, find the big giant thing sticking out on the top and push it down. And now you've got the Bunny Zord in helicopter mode. And now, remember that helipad on here? If you want, you can push it, you can put it on there. And now, they're riding. Next, well, also one more thing, just a little tip. If you want a really good helicopter, you can take out the head, flip it around, and put it in, and it'll be like, and it has this helicopter face. I don't really like that. I like them all with the animal faces, so I'm just gonna put it in there. Next, let's do who's easier. What about Steel Zord? For him, you will take these, push these back. If they won't go all the way back, then you can just take these, pull them around and out, push it back, pull it all the way back, and then push these back around. Why didn't? Oh, I see. Yeah. And then the same for the other side. Put it out, put it there, put it back. Now we've got those there. We will take these legs, push them all the way back, like this, take the wings and pull them out. If they don't come out, then it's probably just because you might, if you want to, you can do this or try and fit them in. I like doing it this way just because I think it looks cooler with these. Then next, now that you have the wings down, you will take these, twist them around, and put them on top. Finally, you will bring out the head of the plane. I'm just gonna put this back on because it fell off, but yeah, it shouldn't fall off for you if you push it in enough. And there we have it. Now we have, one second, let me just straighten it out. Yeah, this is really tough to stick on there, but I think that's good for now, yeah. And now you've got the Jet Zord in jet mode. Finally, we go on to the biggest one, the praying mantis. For this one, you will take out this, take off the legs. Alright, the next couple steps are interesting. You take the sides and you flip them over the head so that you cannot see it. And then you grab the sides from the front and separate them like so. And you can do that. Sometimes they'll pop off, you just need to pop them back in. Yeah, be careful. This is one of the hardest ones. Then you just push it back. Now, we've got what looks to be a good truck, but it's not done yet. Next, we will take these, make sure the pointy part is facing backwards, and the top of these, just here, it's a little tough, but just plug them in. And then you got it like that. By the way, if you don't think you can remember all of this, each of these comes with an instruction manual that is actually, they're actually really elaborate and really nice. Like for example, for red, here is his, and like for example, in full color, which is really helpful, shows all of the steps in transforming him. The ones that come with the helmets, like Bunny and Jet Zord, are the ones that come with the instructions also for the Ultrazord and Megazord. Now that we've got that out of the way, we just take the crane, fold this part back, straighten it out, turn it this way, and just peg it in. Now, if you want to, you can take the Jet Zord. If you angle it right, there's a groove in the ball of the Jet Zord and a groove up here, and you can, well, there we have it. The Jet Zord will not fall off, and you have a perch on here, and you can always just, it can fly off. So I'm just gonna perch it back up there, and ta-da! You now have all your Zords in vehicle form. Let's bring them all back over. And, oh yes, one more thing. This guy reminded me. He does have a battle mode. It's one of the cooler battle modes. You first take off these, take off the crane, and step 1 to the battle mode. You will pull these back and snap them in. And then here's the tricky part, and this is sometimes where I have to look in the instructions. Yeah, there's buttons on the back here. You can pull them, you push them, and then you'll be able to pull the like this. Then you separate the legs. That might happen. Here, let me just snap the tires into place here. This actually will help because on the back here, these right here where the two blue dots are, you pull them down into the toes. Let me do the same on the side. And now we will stick them to get back together. They will fall apart sometimes. You just have to be okay with it because like every Power Ranger series, all the Zords are always a little flimsy at least. And then make sure to leave these ones separate and just connect it up here. Now you'll take this part you attach it and pull these down. And if you see here, now we've got this, right? Pull it back, and one sec. I'm gonna just move out of my way. We go to the front. We pull this down, pick up the head, and you leave the mask down like that. You lift it up for when it becomes an Ultrazord, and you take this, you open this back up again, so it's the hands. Make sure to find the groove and put the groove facing back like so. And, or is it? Yeah, this is the tricky part. I always forget. Is it the other way around? No, yeah. Put the groove facing up. So when the groove is up, it'll just slide in. You can close the chest back up. Another tough spot. Yeah, this is just a little complicated. Make sure the chest snaps in, and if it doesn't, then fiddle with the arm until you can find it into a position where it'll let you. And just keep fiddling with it. You can start turning it, just whatever works best. And once you found it, you should be able to click it in. It's a little tough, even for me, especially because with this arm, you have to like perfectly balance it. And I think yeah, it's a little tough, so, but you get the point. You'll pull, yeah, one sec. You'll pull this up and it'll snap in there. Next, you'll take these, and you can use these as weapons, actually. You can put them in his hand, or you can fold them up and attach them down here. The problem is, it's so this is just like the little toughest part. Yeah, if you can, wait one sec. I'm just gonna try and get it in. And if we can't figure it out, we've got the very colorful instructions that can help us. While my dad looks into how to fix that one, I will show you the original Megazord. This one is actually really easy. I know this is a longer video, but if you're still watching, thank you. So we will first up take off this piece. But first, to do that, you have to make sure you get the tires off. They might pop. Next, you're gonna fold these back up, unplug this piece, and separate these. Okay, now we're gonna separate these also, the tires from the top of the door, and we will set all this aside. Next up, we will take the Bunny Zord, take off the helmet, take off the propellers, take off the back of the helmet, and oh wait, look, we've got it, the Megazord ready. So this is what it would look like. Well, not the Megazord, but in battle mode. Alright, let's get back to this one. You take off these side pieces, take off the head, and separate these. Next, we will separate the legs, and here's the tricky part. There are hands in here, getting the hands out. If I show you for this one, if you can see, it's right there. You have to be really tough. Sometimes they're like lodged in there, sometimes like now, I was lucky and they were easy to get out. Finally, this guy. He doesn't actually really get taken apart because the battle mode Zords are like the bases of the Megazords. We will take him, do what we did earlier, where we turn this, and we put it back up, like so, and then we face these down, so the tires face up. Take off this head piece, and go to the helmet, push the frills back, and the top one. Then, you take the feet, and you push them down, like so, and now he's ready. Okay, now we'll get to transforming him. You take the blade, and then you take these pieces you got from the Bunny Zord, and you just attach them like so. And now the sword's ready. We'll place that aside. Next, this is what I find to be the toughest part. So if you can't get it on your first try, don't be frustrated. You take the hand and one of the legs. Make sure the metals line up and then snap it into place. Push the tires this way and make sure when you do it, this part faces back. And now, once you've gotten it all snapped in, you've got this piece. Do the same for the other side. Make sure the two metals line up. Snap them in. Turn the tires. Make sure this face back. It does. Good. Alright, now for the frustrating part. It took me hours to even get one on. Not like hours, but a long time. You take this, you take the side, and you pretty much just have to fit. Like the instructions, the only thing the instructions do a bad job of showing how to do this. So what I find to be most helpful is I line it up so that here. If I put it closer, you see these like gold marks right here? I try and line it up so when it ends, it'll get to the gold marks. And what I find best is, like, see, I got one on. So this is what it'll look like when it's on. What I find best is I take them, I line it up, and then I go from the back and diagonally go over. And that normally for me works out. So let me do it again. I line it up, then I go from the back diagonally, and there we have it. Next up, we take the hands and we just peg them in. You might have to twist them a little bit, and if you want to, also you can bend them like this. So I find that to be helpful sometimes. I'll bend this one and push it on in. Now we've got the hands. So sometimes the legs will fall off, and I find that to be even more frustrating because it's so hard to get them on. But just, like I said, be patient. And then next up, I'll lie him down just for safety measures. And then we will take the bunny head and take the cheetah head and plug them into the top like so. With the bunny, sometimes it'll be a little messed up, so you just have to rotate the fists on them down. If you can see what I did right there, so it doesn't like break. And now that we've got that in place, on to the next step. Move this aside. Take this piece and this piece. You see how there's these little like pointy things here? If I can show them, there's grooves for them on here. You turn this upside down, and then you just try and fit them on like so. And there we go. Now it's attached like this. Then you find this peg and you just put it on the back of the Megazord. Then you take this piece we have, rotate it like this, turn it actually so that these go back out. The things you plug the tires into. Take the head off. Put these on, but in a way where that actually for this one you don't actually want to push this all the way back. You want to leave it like that a little bit, and then find out the best way to put these tires on so that when you're done, if I can find a good one, let me show you. When you're done and you pull it down like this, it faces forward. What I find to be the easiest is I put it from, some of them I already have like prepared for it, so yeah, but I've got, you just have to find the angle. So a little bit of fiddling with it and you should be good. Then you take the gorilla head, and normally you would think to put it like that, but no, you put it upside down. Sometimes they fall off, so just be careful with it. You put the head upside down, go to the front of the Megazord, go onto the red where the cheetah head used to be, and plug it in. Now we're super close. Here is what I find to be the hardest, so I'm going to come around to this side to show you a close-up. You get on the head, you actually pull the head up, put the back on. And then, while holding that, line it up. And you see how there's this little, right here, there's that groove, this bumpy piece. And on the head where the track for where these slide, you want to actually get that into the track so that it lines up perfectly and you can see the eyes. I've done that now, so I will just snap the back on, make sure it's tight. Sometimes it'll get loose and undo that, so you just have to be very careful and just do it again. Sometimes if you want, you can put the back on first, and that could help. Put the front on, line it up, squeeze it in, and there. Now, we've got the helmet on. Stop filming with the light. We've got this. You put it all the way, and then you take them out one click each. So they make a little, like, well, not like clicking sounds, but it, like, locks in a little bit. So bring them out each one and stick them onto here. And then you've got your energy shield. I'll take the sword and just, like so, stick it into the other hand. And now you have them in Megazord mode. Next up, there will be 2 more Megazords, so just stay here, or you can, So we'll take this guy. And this one is like a much simpler Megazord because, well, this isn't much. You will take off the helmet, the back piece. You will fold him up, but first, before you do that, you will put the pinchers out. You'll take out the pinchers, like that. Flip back the head, and then take it all apart into 3 pieces. The pieces will be one side, the other side, the center. Put the 2 sides back together so it looks like that. Bring these pegs out, and then you should be almost all good to go. Now you just need to fold up the wings, and if you see the slit on his hand here, you just have to rotate this up a little bit. This is the toughest part. You have to just think and just slide it in to place. But once you figure out where to put it on, it'll just stay on. It'll just stick there. So it's a little tough. You gotta just line it up and push. What I did is I fiddled around a bit for a little bit, and then I got really frustrated. But then I took the 2 halves, separated them, went to the arm, and pushed them together on the arm. I'm gonna try and do it, and then I'll show you if I'm able to get it done. This is one of the toughest ones. And I know I keep saying there's a lot of tough stuff about this, but because the reason there's so much tough stuff is because it's so cool looking and it's so worth it. So to make the Megazord modes cool, they have to make it a little bit tough, so that they're not trying to make it tough, but if you get it like I just did, you can move up the frills on the eyes, revealing a much, much cooler face. Next up, I'm gonna come around from the front, which is the last couple pieces, so it'll be easier. Next up, you take the helmet. You don't want this on this guy, so you look around and there should be a little spot on the back for you to just rotate it and peg it into. This helmet is one of the least cooperative helmets because it's But then if you can balance it there, sometimes it'll fall. I'll just leave it off for this video. You will take this, make sure the small wings face up, and put it onto his chest. Then you can take, like I said earlier, you can just take these and you can fold them up and just push them on. Just storage, pretty much. And then once you've got all that done, you take this. You, if it was like this, you fold it out, and you literally just peg it in. And there you have it. We have these two, but then there's still the Beast X Ultrazord. We've got these two Megazords, and then we're gonna combine them. So this is gonna be very confusing. So I'm gonna separate them all to the parts and have the instruction manual for help, and then we'll come back when it's all ready to transform them. So as you see, we've taken apart every Zord except for the base of the Megazord. So we still have the gorilla's chest. I took the head off, but we still like the gorilla's wheel, all the wheels, the legs, and the two heads. Now, we will start adding the new stuff. Move this to the side. I'm giving instructions here because this is a little tough. First, we grab these pieces, which originally were the front of the praying mantis Zord. You take them apart. You take this, fold it over, and what you stick it. So you stick it so the silver part faces. So you stick it so that when it's attached, the silver part will face up. So in other words, you one sec. For some reason, it's not. Yeah, you place it like this. Yeah, I find it is easier to do this. I think it looks cooler for when it's in the other modes. But yeah, for the Ultrazord, you want it this way. Same thing on the other side. Let me just get it on there. Hard part is they move. Alright, then you see those two black squares? They plug in on the feet. Make sure you plug it in the way that makes sure the metal piece faces outward. So now you go on the other side. Snap it in. Oh, and if you're looking for where the pegs go on the Megazord's feet, it's actually it's on the helipads. That might happen, so you have to stay calm. But at least I can show you. See, there's the helipad. Sometimes it can be a little tough because you gotta get two holes, plug it in. And then I will now reattach. Really fiddly, this Megazord. But there, I'll reattach that. And now I'll reattach the other legs. Using the trick I figured out earlier, where you just turn it the tiniest bit diagonally. And it just slides on into place. But it's still gonna be a little tricky, so just remember, be patient. Even for me, and I've had this thing for a little while, it's still tricky and very annoying. But there we have it. So now if you see, he's been boosted up. Now if I look at the instructions, it says the next thing to do is take these two parts, fold them up like, so do you see this fist here? We have to actually, for this one, fold this down. So you should turn the wings into this. I'll do the same thing on this wing. And here. Next thing you do is you push up these. And then making sure the fist side, so this is the top, the bottom is where the fist is. Make sure that faces forward and just plug it in. There you have it. There are your arms all ready to go. Wait, sorry, I accidentally got this arm on wrong. So, see? It happens. You get them wrong. But there we have it. Now, it should be on right. Yes. So if you see now, you got your arms. And actually on the instructions, actually everything is separate. You build everything separately and then you all combine them. So now actually we can set this guy aside because now we're actually gonna start working on making the other parts. I suggest when you set him aside, lie him down like this so that that works when you're putting the legs on. I'm just gonna leave him standing for now and move on to the next step. Next up, we'll make the chest piece, which actually, remember, we'll bring this guy back because we still have our chest piece on the Megazord. So now what we will do is we take the propellers and the thrusters and let's see, we make sure the big wings are up and we I had all backwards, right? And we plug it in and we open it one click like last time. You can open it more when you're done. You can see whatever works best for you. I like one click with this and for the there, and then you just plug it onto the chest like so. Next up, now we can move this guy aside, and I say we work on the sword next. So for the sword, we will take our crane arm. We will fold. If you have yours folded back like this, unfold it so it looks like this. Flip out this little handle, then put that aside for a second. Next up, you'll do what we did with the original Megazord, where you just take the wings and well, not the wings, but like the boost from the Jackrabbit. It's actually a Jackrabbit, not a bunny. And you put it on the sword. But there's more this time. Now, on this top, there's that slot there. You can slide the sword into place like so. It's a little tall, I know. And then, but there's one more step this time. This is where the helmet comes in. We are now going to take the peg on the helmet and the hole right there, and just like so, plug it. Here, one sec. Push it in, and there you have it. Now, his sword is done. Put that there. And next up, how about, let's say we work on the back piece. This is just mostly just for extra beat, but it does actually kind of look cool, so I do recommend you look closely at this. So, I'm trying to figure out what pieces are. Okay, so it tells me right here, it takes the head of the praying mantis, the two legs of the jackrabbit, and the gorilla's head. So, for this, we will take this one, turn it upside down so that this faces up, find the slot and hole, and peg in the gorilla head. Next up, we will put this into, like, so it faces like this. Wait, yeah. And then we'll take these, put the hands back in. I know I'm looking at the instructions a lot, but it's very difficult, these. And, and then we look for the side that has black on it. And is he using a black side? Yes, so we look for the side that has black on it, and we peg it in so that the side with black on it faces the back. We'll do the same thing for the other hand. Faces the back, and boom, here we have it. If you want, yeah. So I'm gonna set this aside because I find it's gonna be easiest with the last thing you attach. And now for one of the very final things. We take this, bring down the legs, put the legs out one click each, and just like we did, find its peg, turn it upside down, and just peg it in. There we have it. If you want, you can always just put it back like that if you want. It's up to you, really. And then now we've got everything. The helmet, and by the way, if you want to know what to do with this, it's just going to become the blast. And now, let's assemble. We take our big boy, and This is the order I find best to attach all his things. First up, we will be attaching this piece. So this is actually very simple. We are just going to take it, make sure the feet face, the legs or like this part face up, and just snap it into place on his back like so. Then, what I find works best is after you do that step, take the helmet. I will come around to the front. Actually, no, because it's a little tall for the camera. But you're gonna pull up the head. If the head's down, pull it up until it snaps. And then just like we did with the Megazord helmet. So it's the same thing. That's why if you really forget, you can always rewind to that portion of the video. It's just this guy's too tall for me to bring him up to the camera. So I'm just going to do it. And there we are, the helmet on. The helmet, it's crucial you do it before this piece or else it just gets really, really irritating. And then, okay, next up, we take this piece, we make sure that the side fit, so turn them around, and we want the side with this facing this way, so this faces back, and you actually just, there's a little groove, it's hard to find, I know, and you just have to navigate around. It's on the back, right in between where the legs are, and you just pop it on. The head might pop out, but you can always just plug it back. And if you see mine starting to lean back, that's gonna happen. So you just want to keep leaning him forward and just work on stability. Then in his left hand, you just put in the laser blaster like so. And in the other hand, you can now attach the scepter or blade, whatever you want to call it. And then, if I bring back over my spinny, stick him on, and there we have it. We're back at the start. How this review started with the Beast X Ultrazord. This is such a cool Megazord. I definitely recommend getting it. If you're still watching now, thank you so much. I know it's been a long video, but thank you for staying and watching it to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.